Hey, this is Jesse here from the Land Investing Business Secrets podcast. I've got multiple guests here for, I think it should be our last show of the year. If not, maybe second last, but it's a really exciting one. I've got 3 panel guests and a co-host. I'll introduce them on the actual show, but we're going to look at the state of land investing. 3 very diverse and very different land investors on what's working for them, what they've seen, what challenges they have come across. And it's going to be really interesting. You're going to see in this episode where they're facing completely different challenges depending on their market or the kind of deals that they're working on. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this show and this episode here of the Land Investing Business Secrets podcast. All right, welcome to our year-end show. I'm really excited to present a special show here. We've got a panel of guests. First, I've got my co-host here, Kevin. A lot of you guys have seen him around. He's been on our update roundups for Pebble. He runs the Pebble product with me. And so we've got him as a co-host, and we've got 3 special guests here. We're going to start off with Kay Walker out in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've got Josiah out in Florida, and Scott Morongell, who's also out in Charlotte. We just found out you guys are in the same area. So very cool to have you guys on here. And we're here to talk about the state of land investing, things that you've seen in 2025. And then we're going to talk moving forward. What are we going to see, or what are we expecting to see, or maybe some bold predictions in 2026? So we're going to jump right into this show. And we've sort of got like 4 segments we want to go through. 2025 recap. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing and acquisitions. We'll talk about deals and operations, and then predictions for 2026. We're going to jump right into it. We've got a first question here. I'm going to start off with you, Kay. What's the biggest shift you've noticed in land investing this past year? What have you seen?
Man, I don't know if I can say it's a huge shift because I'm just at like my year really in the business. So I've seen it. I've seen the probably like everyone else. Maybe the dispo has slowed down a little bit, but it is expected during the end of the year. So I have noticed that. Last year, I remember going into January and then it picked up really quickly again, which is nice. So I do expect that to happen. I am marketing through the holidays. I did marketing through the holidays last year because I didn't know any better and it worked. So I'm doing it this year. And so hopefully we'll see a nice Q1 and things pick up a little bit, which I think we'll see. But yeah, I've seen just in my small little, world, a lot of new marketing channels come into play in the land industry. And I also see people jumping around because they're trying to figure out what works. And so I've been to a few land conferences this year too. And that is one thing that I do see. I think people, they really want their business to work. And so they're trying whatever new shiny object the gurus are putting out there. And I hate that because, that's it affects your business so much when you totally change something in it, instead of trying to figure out what is not working with what you've been doing, so.
Yeah, you should love it. You should love it. Let them go down those rabbit holes.
I secretly
Do what you let them.
Odell is very
Go to those conferences. Figure out what they're all doing. Go the other way.
All right. Well, what about you, Scott? What have you seen in the last sort of 12 months? What kind of changes have you seen?
A lot. I mean, I know I've talked to you a couple times, Jesse, but I've been doing this for a while, right? So I've kind of, was it 5 or 6 years now? I mean, a lot of it changes. But I guess to give context to my answer is I mostly do infill lots, right? So if builders aren't buying, and it's a context thing, right? So if you're doing large acreage versus so on and so forth, like some people may have no slowdowns or some people might be busier. I think infill lots are extremely challenging right now. It's not like shooting fish in the barrel, especially if you're in higher end markets. There's deals out there, of course, but it's not the way that it used to be, to where relationships matter, knowing exactly what builders want from me I think is a world of difference than just spray and pray all infill lots like you used to do 2, 3, 4 years ago. So the change is that builders are getting squeezed, their product's not moving. If they're my clients, how can I expect them to continue to buy and hope things miraculously change for them? So I'm more macro on my side of things of like, okay, what's the Fed doing? Are interest rates possibly going to come down? What's the supply like in certain markets? Can I go find a new market with my same spreads? And so on and so forth. So for me, it's changed. I think it's just slow. I think it's extremely slow. Not to say that there's not good money right now, but I think it's far and few between. And knowing what builders are actually willing to hold, because they're land. Some of them are still land banking, so they're not going to build on it for 3 or 4 years. So if I can get them stuff that they're okay sitting on, where they know that the value's not going down, they will buy it, assuming they can. But I think it's not great to be just an infill right now. So I'm expanding maybe playbook a little bit, but it's definitely changed. This has been a tough year, I think, across the board. Great year, but very tough as well.
Scott, when you talk to your builders, what is their primary concern? Is it interest rates? Is it not finding buyers? What's their reason for not wanting to pull the trigger?
So let's say they bought land, because most of the stuff they're building on right now, they bought 18 to 24 months ago. They bought that land, say, for $50,000. They were going to build something for $250,000. They're on $300,000, thinking they're going to sell it for $470,000, $480,000. Now they're selling those houses for $385,000, and then you back out carrying costs, realtor fees, closing, blah blah blah. Their spreads are down 60-65% for the same amount of work. So they had to buy the land back then because they didn't know what they were, they didn't realize how crazy interest rates would go back up. But now they're like, well, I don't have to play your game, and I'm sitting on inventory, and I still have other lots I can build on. So unless you bring me something that is the best thing I've seen in a long time, I'm probably not going to pull the trigger. So the oddball shaped lots that used to be flags and wedges and like kind of small in the front are things that used to have to get a variance on because it was like just small enough. They're like, dude, forget it. Like, we have our own headaches right now. There's stuff in Charlotte, Kay would know. I mean, average days on market's well over 100, 100, probably 120 days right now for like the affordable-ish new first-time home buyer housing. So their product's not moving, and they have to move it because most of them are not buying all cash. Like the volume dudes, they have carrying costs. So it's not that they don't want it. It's just at some point the risk reward scale ain't there, and it's there for them. So
Sure,
that's a little bit of the issue, I think.
Thanks for sharing that, Scott. And Josiah, what about yourself? What sort of some shifts you notice in the last year here in 2025?
For us, it's like probably nothing that's really going to be new to anybody listening to this, I would assume, but just more, we've seen more difficulty on the acquisition side, with just more, people talking to more and more people where it's like, yeah, we got a stack of 50 letters, it's pretty much just a discussion over price and not really much else. It seems like lately, just a lot more people wanting retail, or a lot more than retail. So trying to figure out making deals work that, we would have passed on 2 years ago, like stuff with, I've talked about this before on this podcast, but things with title issues, properties that are landlocked, properties that need wetland mitigation. We're pretty much all Florida, mostly rural. We don't do much under 5 acres in Florida. So pretty much everything is 5 acres and up all over the state. So, like we just wrapped up, first deal where we were, collaborating with a environmental engineer and the Army Corps of Engineers and St. John's Water Management, and getting approvals to put in driveway and culverts and building pads and mitigate wetlands and buying wetland credits and stuff. So probably shifting into more of that. I guess you would call it development, but that deal I'm describing there is another one where we probably would have just passed on 2 or 3 years ago, but now it's like, well, it's right here. They're ready to do a deal. Like, how can we make this work? Even like we've bought some more houses and mobile homes recently. Cause again, it's like, well, like, what's that saying? You gotta, I don't know, dance with the one that brought you or whatever. I don't know. I forget that quote, but just trying to, we're not targeting that stuff specifically, but it's like, we're still sending the same volume of mail with more or less the same filtering criteria, and just trying to squeeze as much toothpaste out of the tube as we can, I guess. But for us, I don't know, the dispo thing we've really like doubled down on like everything we can possibly control in terms of our project management once we own property. And then with dispo, like making our marketing as good as we know how, as good as we can, which seems to have moved the needle. So things have been cranking on the sales side for us, which is great. But it's still that struggle with acquisitions. As far as where we're going in 2026, we're going to have our annual meeting and planning here in the next few weeks. And I don't know, we'll see what the team comes up with there. But I think it's probably going to be more of the same to some degree. Like, speaking to what Scott said, it's like, I don't want to just do this. Like, I am getting involved in more of like curative title stuff. I know that's getting more hot right now, and we're still trying to look for subdivides. But I also don't want to just completely just knee jerk. Oh, okay, we're shifting over here. We're not doing that. We're not doing direct mail to rural acreage anymore. I don't want to just like jump around and just totally change our strategy every 6 months, because I don't think that's a recipe for long-term success. I think focus is very important, even when you go through rough patches.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So in terms of marketing and lead generation, whether that's on the acquisition side or the disposition side, what have you seen work right now, and has that changed over the past year? We'll start with UK. Well, what are you doing for marketing?
I came into the business like anyone else, trying to figure out like, what should I do? Should I do cold calling or text messaging? I settled on mail because I came from running a very busy short-term rental business of over 100 doors, and it was chaos all the time, and I was so used to it. And I was like, when I make this switch, I don't want that chaos. And like, the text messaging just spelled chaos to me, everything I heard about it. And I didn't want a huge team. I did the big teams, big payrolls. I did all of that before. And so I wanted a very small team. I just made my first hire. Like, I was speaking to Jessey about it, I think a month ago. So I picked direct mail, and I started using Rocket Print, and I didn't love the response rate. So I started tinkering and figuring out how to do it in-house. And so I do it in-house. I have like a mailroom set up, everything. It's like a little mini Rocket Print. So I control everything with it, new designs, new envelopes, just lots of testing, all that good stuff. And it works. It works well. And
What's it cost you to get a piece out?
so,
Out of curiosity.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to hear all about doing the mail yourself.
I don't want to curse on here. It was terrible at first. Like, I was at the kitchen table, like, my kids were like tri-folding, right? And then it was like, oh, they have tri-folding machines, right? So went and got one of those. And then I went and walked, there's a company called Quadient, and they make a lot of the big industrial machines that these huge mail houses use for invoicing and things like that. And so I went to their showroom probably like 4 or 5 times, right, here in North Carolina. And I got to see all the machines and what the political campaigns do, what the credit card companies do, what like so many companies mail. And they have these huge machines that are so creative. They do so many things. I didn't have a budget to buy one of those machines. They're like very, very expensive. But I did try one of their like insert folder sealer machines, but you can only there was limitations to it, and I felt like it was limiting my creativity. So that didn't work. So we ended up we went through a lot of different printers. We ended up with a Kyocera printer, the company that used to make the phones, yeah, oddly enough. And just like 2 trifold machines that are automatic, and they work really, really well. And then I have a guy that's like part-time, full-time, depending on how much we're getting out at one time, and he does all the manual parts of it. We have like I have a rented space in a WeWork building. I have like 4 offices here. 2 of them are primarily just used for mail processing, and design and everything like that. And so we have a little process here, and I still do all the data pulling, scrubbing, reviewing, all of that. And I only work in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. So I only work in 3 states ever since I started. And so I've gotten to know them pretty well, which I think is important. And our mail is targeted to those particular areas. It's very targeted mail with a market selection and design and everything. So
when you're saying it's very targeted, is it the messaging? Give us a general understanding. Like, how are you carving the messaging to be targeted?
yeah, so I like to frame the customer when they call. We do range letters. And I did that because I sucked at pricing when I first started. I was just like, do a range, I'll build in a little error there. But we do ranges, and I like it. I haven't tried neutral or blind because I want the customer to know like we are open to a discussion, right? And there's some bandwidth here to talk about your property. And I also let them know in the communications like, hey, this is just a general bulk pricing that we do. Give us a call so we can talk about it. When they call, one of the first questions is, are you comfortable with this price range? And that kind of lets us know, like, should we move forward with this conversation kind of thing. We do different things with the states. Like if it's North Carolina, we have different things that represent North Carolina on the outside and the inside of the mail. Same thing with South Carolina, same thing with Georgia. Holiday times, we make sure that, we have that represented in a neutral way on the mail. And yeah, all that. We have the ability to really quickly get stuff out the door and change things really, really quickly. And I think that's a huge benefit. And so, I answer the phone. It's direct mail, so we're not getting, it's not a whole lot of calls, to be honest with you, for what we mail out. And so I get to hear the direct feedback from the mail. And I always ask when they call and I talk to them about the mail pieces so we can kind of keep refining and everything like that and get better at what we do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, you said that you felt like the response rate sucked previously. Do you feel like has the response rate improved since you brought mail in-house? And if so, then what do you think is different that would improve the response rate from bringing it in-house as opposed to using like a rocket print or book to mail or whatever?
I think a few things. I was getting like a deal for every 5,000 with Rocket Print. And with Rocket Print, just to know, I did do first class with them. And I just want to do something different. I know it costs more, but I'm like, let me just do something different. And I wanted my return mail too, because we update our records and we only work in a few states, and we remail those states, and we don't want to keep remailing stuff gets returned to us. So it can seem a little tedious, but like at the end of the day, it helps in the long run. So I think it does make a difference because 99% of the land investors are using Rocket Print. So all the mail, no matter what the inside looks like or the outside looks like, there's only a few options, to be honest with you. And so it looks like bulk mail. The intelligent barcode, how the little indica thing print, it just looks like bulk mail, no matter what you do, because they have to mass produce it. That's what they do. And I think the difference is, like, when someone gets our mail out of the mailbox, it looks like a small local business did it. And I think that's the feel that I want it to feel like. And I think that is why the response is different, to be honest with you. So
I think a few listeners here might be thinking, "Oh my gosh, do I have to get my own print house and do this all by hand?" So certainly there's a happy medium, right? Inside of Pebble, you're able to customize things and get things like satellite images. I've actually handwritten something and scanned it in from my iPhone before, and that works as well. So I agree with Kay having that ability to personalize and then also tread that fine line of how do I do this at scale. It can definitely be tricky. To hear Kay has two or half of your office space dedicated to print house, your own print house is.
yeah, and we're open. I just leased another one here because we are right city center, like the Panther Stadium. Like, it's very busy here, and it has beautiful like window frontage. And so we're bringing all the. I'm a licensed realtor, so we're bringing in all dispo in house moving forward too. Because oh my God, like, some agents, very 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 few are great, but then the rest, I'm like, oh my God. And you end up paying these commissions out, and you did all the work. You took the drone photos, you wrote the descriptions, you've done everything. So we are going to bring all dispo in house, and then start also bringing on, taking on listings too for land investors. Yeah, so we're gonna start doing that next year.
Awesome.
Price per mail before we move on, Jess.
Oh,
You have a
sorry.
rough idea, Kay?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I want to hear this. Yeah.
So different tiers for different levels of land, right? Because I do everything from infills to the big acreage, right? The data tells me it's demand. That's where we're going. So I have like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. My in-house cost, and I use first class mail on everything. It is 97 cents. I've got it down for the tier 1 piece of mail. So this is more expensive than Rocket Print. It is more expensive. So 97 cents. That is all in with everything. And there are some unique things in that mail that are very custom and everything like that. And then it goes all the way up to, I have like the tier 3 can be like almost $4 a piece for that piece of mail. We don't do a whole lot of those because they're very expensive. Yeah, yeah. And when you get to bigger size, you learn all these stupid things that you don't even think about when you don't do your own mail. But if it goes like a little bit bigger, it's like this whole different price range, and it's balancing, like Jesse said, being able to do it at scale and it be effective, right? So yeah, but the majority of what I said is the 97-cent piece for
Thank you.
No.
Scott, how about yourself? What does marketing look like for you that is pulling in leads?
So it's mail. I don't remember our last conversation, but
Mail.
I don't know. No, I don't know when. I know what it was about. And it's mail. So yeah, I've played the ring around the rosy, and every marketing channel gets deals. I'm a firm believer in that. There is no secret sauce to the business. Every single one will get you a deal, even if you go knock on people's doors. I've got a buddy that does it around here. He does only in-county owners. Everybody wants out-of-county owners. He's like, well, I'm going to hit the in-county and I'm going to show up at their door. And he does like 1 or 2 deals every month, and he also builds on them. So he doesn't need a lot of volume, right? So everyone he plucks off, assuming that the housing market doesn't go belly up, he's making, $100,000 a month off of 2 deals roughly. Pretty good, way to do it. So every marketing channel works. It's still mail. For me, it'll probably always be mail, but that's by choice. I don't want a big team. I want lifestyle. I want flexibility. I was just down in Florida for 2.5 weeks working from there. Virginia for a week working. If I have a team in office, and there's pros and cons, and this is like a you thing. This is just for me. I know people with big teams, and they don't do much, but they show up and whatever. It's great. I want to know, like, I can just hop anywhere right now and just take off, and nothing will change. So mail allows you to do that. I also like that it's expensive. I like that it cost a knucklehead 97 cents to rip something out the door, because they're probably not going to do it. I like that. I don't want it to be 2-cent text messages when everybody can do it. So I hope mail goes up. I hope it costs $3 for everybody to send a piece down the road. It's like the real players will always find a way to get edge and ahead of everybody else. So, like, it doesn't matter what it costs. It's like, get rid of all the seminar students, and it's great again. So there's room for everybody, but you can call a spade a spade. I'm going, make it expensive, make it so, license whatever it is in the space, like, make it a legitimate business, because that's the problem with where land and the wholesaling side and everything, it's a wild, wild west. And so they don't know if I'm calling them or if somebody who started yesterday is calling them. They don't know who to trust. And we do volume, so I don't have time to spend, I'm not going to talk for 45 minutes and build rapport. Like, I'm not sending out, the $4 mail piece right now to where every deal is worth, $200K, let's say, like they're big subdivides. So I'm not going to build, hours of rapport with somebody on an infill lot. So yeah, my marketing channel is mail. It's not going to change. How, the pieces and the timing and things along that, I think it always has to change. Which is like any other company that markets, like Super Bowl, there's different commercials for Coke or Pepsi or whoever's doing it that year. Like, they don't run the same one every year. So if you run the same mail piece, for 3 years straight, it's probably not ideal. So yeah, I mean, inside of mail will change, but I have zero desire to manage a cold call team, a texting team. I don't want to do it. So I won't. Pretty simple.
Josiah, how about yourself?
We're all direct mail. Yeah, just
Flat out.
all direct mail. Yeah.
I feel like 2025 has been direct mail. I don't know if it's the guests we've had or the people we've been talking to, but it seems there's been sort of this focus for those that are doing direct mailing. They're doubling down on direct mailing, and clearly we have that.
Yeah, because nobody wants to do it anymore. It's great.
Yeah.
That's right. Like, it's good. Like, I think direct mail is probably as good, if not better, as since I've been doing it for 6 or 7. So it's not the mailing that's the problem. I think it's like how I run the business is more of the problem than, the phone rings all day. For the mailers, that's not a problem. It's what do we do with the pieces if they're not home run deals? Mm-hmm. So yeah, mail's great. Everybody should try the other stuff. It's good for them.
Right. Yeah.
All right,
it all works. It all works.
Let's go into the next question here. And I think some of you guys have already talked a little bit about this. I'm going to start with Josiah here. What kind of deals or markets are performing best for you right now?
Well, we're basically just in Florida. We are or have done deals in a lot of other states, but those are all like JV. Yeah. For the most part, they're JV deals, funding, that kind of thing, or paid an assignment fee to another investor to take over the deal, that kind of stuff.
You also mentioned earlier you're working. You're now taking on properties that you wouldn't have taken a couple years ago. Any patterns in those kind of deals that you're seeing, or one that is more common than the others?
No, not necessarily. I haven't seen like a pattern in I'm sure there is a pattern, but like, how does a property get landlocked? It's probably a pretty similar story across the country. It's like, it was a big parent parcel and it got chopped up over the years, and somebody at some point wasn't thinking about, oh, wait a minute, we should probably record an easement so Billy's parcels on they're back from the road have access, And now fast forward to today, the owners don't know each other. And so I don't know. I guess those are always pretty much the same story. But sorry, what was the question? Was like a pattern across like the ones with problems?
Exactly. Are you seeing some that are performing better for you guys, that you guys are taking down more of nowadays? Anything in specific like that, or you're all over the point?
I don't know if there's enough volume to like say if there's a real pattern. It's like I'd like to think so, but it's like I don't know. Maybe at this point in the year we've done 50 or 60 deals. It's like I don't know if that's actually enough of a sample size to really say like yes, there's a pattern across. Of those 50 or 60, like I think 3 or 4 have been landlocked. So I don't know if that's enough of like a sample size for me to like say anything true or have any kind of an epiphany about, say, landlocked property or property that requires a suit to quiet title or something like that. It's each one. Actually, one of my mentors in this business loves to say that he owns a title company, and they're a pretty large shop. Like they do maybe 3,000 transactions a year. And he loves to say that every deal is different. Every single one is different. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I haven't done infill lots. Maybe that's not as true with infill lots like what Scott's doing. But I think that's kind of true for us. Every deal, there's like a little bit of a different dynamic or a different story. And especially now, like it feels like nothing is cookie cutter right now for us. It's like, okay, how do we make this one work? And then the next one work? And each one has a different set of like actionable steps to get it to a profitable outcome.
Sure.
Scott, you fun.
Yeah.
Scott, you mentioned infill lots are getting challenging this past year. Have you looked at doing sort of different property types to sort of adjust for that, or you're going to keep rolling in that direction?
Yes and no. So this last quarter and moving forward, we used to kind of cap size as far as acreage on pieces that are going out the door for the mail. Now it's open ended. So I think in text or what have you, like that 15, 14 acres. Somewhere in and around here that Kay will never know about. I mean, buy it for 500, sell for 2.5. Like that deal never would have come across the desk prior to. Does it come together and work? I don't know. We're still working on it, but like, so I'm changing things in that regard. Can we cut that up? Can we sell it all for 2.5 million? Do I have to cut it up? How many parcels can I get out of it? Like subdivides, things of that nature. Like, those are coming in, and they're coming in a lot now. Before I used to cap it at like 2 acres. So I was like, I just want, right to the builder on one piece. Now it's like, well, I have 14, 15 acres. You want it? Can we do a small division over here? Like, what's the play? Can we rezone it and put condos? Can we build up? All that other stuff that ordinarily I would have just been like, it's not my jam. So I think adding that is like a small wrinkle, but not getting outside my sphere. Like if I had to answer Josiah's phone, I'd go out of business because I'm like, I have no idea what these people are talking about. If he's doing over 5 acres, like outskirts of Florida, like I don't know anything about that. So like this, I can still talk the same shop, and having the commercial and the other side of, what I do outside of land in real estate, it's not outside my sphere. So I can party on that stuff and make it make sense. But I don't think I'm going to expand to do what Josiah is doing, not because I don't believe in it. I think he's probably way smarter than I am in doing that stuff. I just don't know it, and I don't want to learn it right now when I think there's still some meat on the bone with what I'm doing. Now, that being said, I would love to show Kay. Kay, how long have you been doing this? Like 2 years, you said?
A year.
Okay, a year. So are you doing around, you said North Carolina, but do you do Mech?
Yeah.
So Mech's list, for example, when I started 6 or 7 years ago around here, was just over double the size of parcels left over in Mech right now. So it sounds like nothing, but the reality is if half the parcels in the last 5 years, give or take, have been bought up by builders or just people who land bank, etc., at the end of the day, there's only so many parcels to go around before you do have to start doing other things. Are we there yet? Probably not. I think there's still plenty of opportunity, but like real numbers make a difference. Like if there was 12,000 and now there's, 2 years later, there's 8 and now there's 6 and now there's only like 4,500 good parcels left, let's say, for example, like at some point, you're sending 5,000 pieces of mail to get one deal. It might be 18,000 pieces in 3 years' time in Charlotte. Does it make sense? No.
Right. Yeah.
So from a business approach, it's like you can only beat a horse for so long before there's nothing left in the tank to race with. So then it's like, go find more Charlottes, go find more Raleighs, more Durhams, more wherever there's path of progress or sub-markets outside of Charlotte. I think I can do that for a long time and not have to go to 50-acre parcels that I have no idea how to talk to somebody on.
I agree with that, Scott. I think Charlotte, then there's York County, then there's Gastonia. Like there's so much
Exactly.
that you can. People ask me all the time, like, how do you just stay? I mainly do North Carolina. Like, how do you stay in one state? I'm like, I can stay in this state for like the next 5 years. So like literally can do this state easy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, Kay, how about yourself? Any kind of deals, or specific kind of deals that you're working on that sort of is performing best for you guys right now?
Not really. I mean, like I said, I do both. I think I like smaller lots, like infills in metro areas because they move. Like whenever I feel like people need a place to live, so those are going to be bought by builders in areas where it makes sense, for them to build. And so that's why I like infill lots. They are a little bit more tedious with the due diligence. One thing wrong, now it's not worth anything. So you got to just make sure you know your area, I think. Um, Bigger lots, of course, they can take longer to sell, right? But then I think when I have a mindset like that, I just had a 45 acre, just under 60 days gone, like $330,000. Like, and I'm just like, stuff is moving, it's just like the right stuff is moving. And it's hard and it can be frustrating because you look at the data and you're like, you get a deal and you're like, this is going to be the deal that moves really fast. And it like ends up sitting. And then there's other markets you didn't even think twice about in a week and it's sold, So it can be a little bit frustrating sometimes not really like doing all the research you can do, right, that we can do, but then not quite understanding why something is still sitting. You've done all the drone photos. You spent all the money on the marketing, and so that can be a little bit frustrating sometimes. But yeah, I try to follow the data. I'm not doing anything crazy. I do like this year I started doing a little bit more creative finance on the acquisition side. And I'm realizing that I can take down larger deals with seller financing. And once I got comfortable with it, I was able to, speak to the seller in a very comfortable way where they're just like, okay, I'm like, all right. So being able to take down larger deals with just, maybe 20% down, no interest for 6 months is really amazing. I'm loving that, especially because we do a little value add and it feels more secure when you do value add after you take title, but you still want to have like those 90 to 120 days to do what you need to do and not be out of pocket that money for the whole purchase. So I found that really, really helpful. I almost got, tempted to do mobile home land packages, because some of the stuff that we sell in North Carolina, if it's like, if you can put a manufactured home on it, like that's golden. Like you can't find that a lot, especially around like Charlotte. So I was had to talk myself out of it, and I'm just like, you know what, just stay the course. Do like minor
Don't get
stuff.
distracted.
Don't get distracted. Yeah. And so yeah, for me I think like Scott said, like as far as the marketing, it all works. I think like with the land, like it all sells too, right? And so we just try to buy as right as we can and be a little bit more, I think, particular about what we're purchasing and how much we're purchasing it for. I think is important. Because if it's a dirt road, right? In the beginning, someone told me, "Oh, don't buy stuff for dirt roads." But then, like, I bought stuff for dirt roads, and it sold. Like in Fayetteville, I'm just like, I'm going to continue to buy stuff for dirt roads. But then, I got like a piece of land sitting now because it's a dirt road. So I'm just going to be, a little bit more particular about things on the acquisition side. But I think it's so funny because, like, we all do now. We're all on land, but we all have very different perspectives on like what's working and what's not working. I know Josiah said like acquisitions is tougher, and I feel like the opposite. Like dispo's a little bit tougher, but I feel like acquisitions is easier. So we all feel it a little bit different in our unique businesses.
Yeah, no, I love that about the three of you guys. It's so different. I can hear you guys are staying focused and keeping things simple. Now, before I get Kevin to throw the last question here to you guys on what your thoughts are in 2026, I'd love to know. Kevin and I are sort of in the background working on Pebble, and you guys are all Pebble user. I'd love to know, what in terms of your operations, what's something that you guys might be finding useful inside of Pebble, or maybe you discovered recently that you're now incorporating into your workflow inside of your operations. I know a lot of our guests or a lot of our listeners are also Pebble users too. I'd love to get a quick insight on that and sort of do a quick lightning round here, but maybe starting with you, Josiah. Is there anything that sort of comes to mind there?
Yeah. We've been, I've been doing some more cold calling, but like manual cold calling, like not a dialer. And so we use open phone right now, but for me and my buddy Mario, who's been helping with cold calling, we've been using Pebble's phone system. I was literally texting with Kevin about this, like I think yesterday. I'm really enjoying using the phone system inside of Pebble. It's just a lot more efficient than using open phone. I love I think you rolled it out today or yesterday, the replies and comments and pinning comments. So we're like already, like as a team, like we started using that like immediately, like because we had been bugging you guys for that feature for a while. So we're using that. I don't know what else has been different in our workflow. You were kind of asking specifically Pebble questions for our workflow, or
yeah. I mean, those are two great
yeah
things. I'll pass it over to Scott. I know, Scott, you're also from time to time inside of Pebble. Is there anything that you're currently using in your sort of day to day?
Everything is great. I would tell everybody to use Pebble. No, I mean, Jessey, look, I mean, if I could get my laptop off of my $12 I have it on here at the house right now, I would, but I'm archaic. I'm a lot of in the notebook kind of guy, but Jessey does know for the clients and the kind of that new stuff for the builders, I am using it and I have to use it religiously, and it is great. I do love it. It's very simple to use. I like, what do you guys call it? The Kanban view or Kanban, whatever. Like it goes across. I can label them whatever the heck, like builder don't like, need price still, blah, blah. Like it's super simple. And I know where everything is at all times. And it takes me 10 seconds. I've got some of the automatic stuff set up, but I don't know, man. I'm not a tech guy anyway. So as long as it works and you don't break what works to like make money, I'm happy. I think it's great.
Awesome.
So I don't have any complaint. Yeah.
Okay, how about yourself?
Well, I love the reference codes.
So yeah, it's interesting because you do your own printing, but I believe you still use our reference codes for the mail pieces as well. So I know we got you to talk about that recently on on one of the office hours. That, but yeah, help us understand how that sort of works for you guys.
Yeah, it really, really helps because I remail the same areas at the same market. And so it really, really helps. All of the raw data that I end up pulling and scrubbing, I upload it to Pebble. That's where it lives. And then we export it. We're ready to do campaigns. It prints out with that reference code that it's been assigned to by Pebble. And that's really helpful because, I may try a new envelope or try a new pricing. I may try whatever I'm feeling like that day. And so, like, I know this campaign here will track that for me. And so in our marketing material, on our website, everything, it frames our sellers to make sure, like, you provide that reference number. So when they email us, call us, text us, they're sending us the reference number straight off the bat, so we can make sure that we're tracking all of that information, which is super helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And just so that people know, the reference code is for the actual mailer piece. It's not for the property. I think a lot of people assign reference codes to the property, but this allows us to assign it to the piece, and then we can sort of be able to split test and understand response rates.
Is it called, can you change what it's called on there? You can change it, right? Is it like stock? I think it says offer code, right?
Yeah, you can change whatever.
I think we have to change it. One of the issues I remember that, like, we've have right now on some of those last ones that went out, they're like, what's the offer? What's the offer? Because they see it as an offer code. And maybe I put it on there, but I have to change that. But that is why I think we started to use Pebble way back when you first rolled out, because I'm like, this is unmatched. You get to see how many times I hit somebody, and like then they file. That is the best part, especially like I'm on the go a lot, and I just ask them, like, when they call in, hey, what's the code? And then I'll pull it up when I get back. Instead of being like, what's your name? How do you spell it? What county is it in? You just sound so unprofessional with their
28-digit APN number.
Yeah. Shoot, is there hyphens or no hyphens when I put it in at the county GI? It's like, how many periods and zeros? Yeah, so it's like you just ask for the code, and it's like, it's perfect. I don't know if other people do that, or companies or Rocket Print or what have you, but
They do, surprisingly. Like, I even asked one of the competitors out there, and they don't do reference codes. I'm like, are you kidding me? I remember trying to do my own Excel codes. Like, it was a hot mess.
I was gonna say you could do your own, which would be an absolute nightmare, and then it probably still wouldn't search in the system. Yeah.
So the question I'm super excited about is what do you guys think is going to happen in 2026? Where are we going? I want to hear some hot takes. Where do you think the land business is going in 2026 and beyond? Where do you think things are headed? We'll start with you, Josiah.
I don't know, man.
That's a hot take.
I don't know. Yeah.
Just along for the ride.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have no idea. I feel like to have a really solid opinion on that, I would have to have a solid opinion on like where interest rates are going, and it's like, who is actually successful at predicting interest rates? Like, not that many people. A lot of people have opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're along for the ride. We're gonna keep.
Well, let's rephrase the question for you, Josiah. What are you excited about in 2026?
I'm excited for us. As our business, we have a lot of great inventory that we picked up early this year and late 2024, where a lot of this stuff required pretty long. It was a pretty long timeline for getting it to a point where we could actually like list it. Like, I mean, we have some inventory where it's like, it's been like a year and a half of 2 years in like kind of wetland mitigation, permitting, rezoning, whatever, subdividing, probate, suit to quiet title, landlocked, suit for all this stuff, right? And so for us, we have a lot of inventory where it's going to be getting listed in the next couple of weeks, in the next month or two. And so I'm really excited about that, because I think we're going to sell a lot of that inventory in the first few months of the year. And so I am excited about that. We have a couple big subdivides in there. I think I mentioned that we've started getting sales from those. So that's really exciting. And and our acquisitions manager is coming back from maternity leave in January, and I can't wait for her to get back. So that's what I'm excited about.
Awesome. Scott, how about you?
Not really excited about anything, to be honest with you. I think that I'm gonna have
where you see.
So I don't predict anything. I know I don't. I don't predict a darn thing, because I try and make a read and a play off of the feedback I'm gonna get. Like, so I don't, until the builders that I do heavy volume with in certain area, like until I know what their goals are, how can I make up my own? Because they're the ones that kind of feed me. I'm always going to be able to sell like a couple pieces to, like, you know, the mom and pop who want to build their new buildings. Like, those deals are always there. But if we're talking about like making real money, like good money, I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they going to be primarily offloading a lot of stuff in Q1 and like reset, see where they are? They might stop a lot of acquisitions. I don't know. Like, this business, it's real estate and it's cyclical. And if you're not aware of that, you'll get caught with a lot of bad stuff happening to you. Mail is obviously, we play in, all three of us are on the more expensive side of marketing. And so it would not be uncommon for me to waste 6 figures in a market, or get caught with maybe multiple 6 figures next year if I don't have good feedback from people around me of like, if they're not buying, because then why would I market like crazy? And I've lost before in certain areas, and I'm not exactly trying to lose any game I play. So I don't know is the question. What are they going to do? How do I make my reads off of them? Do I go find more of what I need or less? Or there are certain days it's better to go play golf in certain quarters and months, or 6 months. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Because Josiah's right. We don't know where interest rates go. And interest rates aren't even necessarily tied to mortgage rates. So there's that's not a 1-to-1 delta, right? It has to deal with the treasury and things getting balanced, and it's not a 1-to-1
before it happens. Yeah,
sure. So I don't know. I think I would be, if I'm excited about anything, it would probably be some of the bigger ish infill areas of like, what's that subdivide look like, or can we get that rezoned for 20 units instead of like 3 single families, and get better density on some things. Like, that would maybe pique my interest, but it's because it's newer to me and actually like doing them instead of just wholesaling them out. So maybe that would be cool, but I don't know. I don't like where anything in real estate is, to be honest with you. So I have a pretty bearish outlook for this year, and probably for 26, 27, and I'd be looking forward for a couple of years down the road. And so if you can just sit tight and have a lot of cash, and this is a cash cow type business, I would store your acorns away and get excited when there's some real blood in the streets to capitalize, and go buy some small multifamily and small apartments and small storage or whatever, kind of cash flow. This is not the thing with this business is, like, you can scale it, you can get it to a nice size, you can make a very good living doing it, but it's never going to create the wealth of buying some big deals at the right time and being able to refinance them to the death and have substantial money coming in. And you have to do it one time. This is a business you have to do it every freaking month. And it's great because it's an active business, but it's people come in here, I think, really thinking like, oh, I just, you get one acquisition and one this and one that, and we'll all make $1 million a year and everybody will be happy. It's like, it's very doable, but I'd much rather wait for the big stuff to get aggressive in the market again. So I think I'll be more excited about real estate in a couple years when the bleeding out's done. Banks have to realize a lot of the losses that are on the books that they haven't, auctions start taking place and you can buy stuff for 30, 40 cents on the dollar again. And hopefully you can buy as much as the next person in line and sit on it for the next wave up. So.
Cool. Hey, what about
That's
you?
where
What
I'm
do you
in.
think is going to happen in 26?
Man, I'm excited about 2026. Like, um, I like land a lot. I feel like I'm always learning something. Like I've done 30 something deals since I started, and each one's a little bit different. And I notice like the more you know, the more you learn and niche, not necessarily niche down, but like you go a mile deep into your market. Like you become the expert. You know these little things about subdividing or splitting or new zoning change that other people just don't know where there's opportunity, right? So you create opportunity just by knowing more and doing more. I'm excited about bringing acquisitions in house because I think there's a lot of opportunity missed with using agents. And I'm saying this because I'm localized, so it's a little bit easier. If you're all over the place, it's a little bit harder. But like they get the direct feedback from the buyers in the market, right? Whether that's a builder, whether that's another investor, whether that's a consumer. And that direct feedback is super important, I think, to understand that. And so I'm excited about bringing acquisitions in house and being able to use my mail house with dispositions because we're going to do that part of it. We're still going to send mail and letters and postcards when we dispose stuff, strategically to get it sold very quickly. I'm excited about that opportunity and that challenge because I think I kind of just like wholesaling, like they do that stuff super quickly. They get their inventory, they don't even buy it. Like I take it down, I take title. They don't. They're just out the door. I'm very impressed with their disposition process, wholesaling. Like we're not there. We probably won't be there for a long time, but there's a lot of lessons to be learned with how they do things and kind of I won't necessarily have a buyer's list, but kind of get very known in North Carolina of being the source for land, for people. And when a buyer comes to understand their needs and be able to kind of reverse engineer like what they need and that kind of avatar, and it's going to help on the acquisition side. So I'm excited about bringing that in house. To be honest with you,
Love it. Awesome. Guys, I want to thank you all for your time here. And I know we're a little bit over time and sharing such different perspectives on land from three very high performers in the land space. So Scott, Josiah, Kay, thank you very much. Really quick here, 1 second each. How can they find you or how can they be helpful to you? Do you have a web link or Instagram or whatever it is? Scott, do you want to kick it off first?
Yeah, I just probably Facebook might be best. Scott Morongell, Morongel. Instagram, I'm on there too, but I don't have any of them on my phone. So I am like once a couple weeks I'll check them. So if you get a delayed response, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's probably the best.
I do know that. Okay, how about yourself?
Yeah, it's just K Walker. I'm on Facebook. I'm not super active. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, but not super active on there. I'm active in the Discord. I'm in Leah's Discord mainly. So yeah, find me there.
And by the way, for you guys listening, Kay has been so generous. She has added her template into the template library. So if you want to check it out, what letter she's doing and her creativity, you can have a look of that inside of a Pebble account. And then Josiah, what about yourself? If people can be helpful to you, where can they find you?
You can email me, Josiah at Josiah. I mean, I have socials, but I do not check any of them. So if you message me on Facebook or Instagram, I probably will see it a year from now. But yeah, you can email me, Josiah at acrevault.com. Acre like an acre of land, vault like a bank vault. yeah, for whatever. We fund a lot of deals, JV, or if you just want to like chat about land or real estate, I'm usually down for that too.
Awesome. Guys, thanks again for coming on the show, sharing us, what it's been like on the last 12 months here, or maybe your entire journey, and then, what you're excited about in 2026. But thanks again. Thanks, Kevin, for hosting this with me, and we'll see you guys on the next episode in 2026. Take care, everybody.
Guys.
Thanks, Jesse.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.